I believe that every artwork, every art journal page, every drawing should tell a story. And I want my story to tell about my gorgeous little dog Tessa. And this is when we first got her at 8 weeks old. And I want to capture the amusement and the humour and the love that she's brought into my life, into the lives of others here as a therapy dog. I don't want to do a detailed portrait. I want to capture her personality. Also because I want to do a lot of these sketches to record her life. I don't want each one of them to be a laborious, detailed, fine art portrait. I want to capture personality. I want to learn to lighten up and draw with humour. So that's my plan. First thing to do was to break the fear of the blank page, and that's why I put down the paw marks. So yes, my first marks were made with the stencil. I also plan to demonstrate different types of ink, and so I'm working with a beautiful ink. If you notice, I've splattered ink on the paper. I've done that deliberately because I want to convey the whole fun and personality of a puppy. I'm writing out using my light brown Storia pigment ink. It's a 20ml bottle and it's by Sailor is the brand. They're beautiful inks. It's one of the first of the Sailor brands that I've bought myself. I've read in the fan and pen forums as being highly recommended. I love the way it's a golden brown where it's heavier, but where I've watered it down, it's a beautiful deep yellow, glorious colour. And I just thought it was a lovely colour to express the happy personality of this little cavoodle. Here I'm using a little bit of a Payne's Grey watercolour, and I'm putting it down on the wet paper first so that the edges will bleed. I want to use it, of course, for the dark of the eyes and the nose, but I daren't put it down there while the underpainting is wet because it'll bleed out, and I need to have a hard edge around the edges of the eye. So we're doing the areas where it could blend first. Now, writing a note of what my ink is for my records. I'm still learning to write nicely. The only way to get good at something is to practice. The only way I'm going to get good at doing light-hearted, happy paintings is to practice them. I can do fine art far more easily at the moment than caricature, but if we don't try, you'll never get there. And the same with my writing. I need to practice it. So your art journal can be a place where you can learn. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, if you're keeping your art journals through the years, it's great to be able to look back and see how your writing is improving, how your artwork, in this case my caricature illustrative work, is improving, and how I'm letting go of the tightness of the formal fine art and learning to do fun art. So have fun with it. Don't be too stressed. I've left dots off my eyes. I'm learning to try to remember to put my dots on my eyes. Simple things like that. Your journal is for you, for yourself, and let the page tell the story. Now with caricature painting, you can deviate from reality. You can make eyes bigger or eyes smaller. I've kept the eyes lifelike, but what I've done is tilt the edges of the lip up a little bit more to exaggerate a smile. I've also poked out a little pink tongue. Perfect for Tongue Out Tuesday memes. So you can make those little caricaturistic changes. Again, I've smudged up my paper. I've splattered paper. And now we're going to put Tessa in a garden. Again, I'm looking for fun and humour. Contrast is great in artwork. The contrast of these dried flowers and the watercolour and ink work of Tessa. So two different styles of illustration together will complement each other. The hand original work and the decoupage work. And also I'm putting contrast of colouring in. The paint, the ink, we're talking about greys, blacks and golden browns. And now we're putting a contrast of a complementary colour of the yellow flowers with the green foliage is very closely related, and then we're going for the opposite, which is violets. And so we've chosen flowers that are deep violet, which will really highlight and accentuate the golden tones of the cavoodle. The next inks that I use are the Atramentus document inks. They're beautiful permanent inks. I use grey-green, and then I use the black. I don't use the black for very much. I just want to outline the shape of the eye and the nose in parts, not a hard drawn edge. Remember, you're trying to capture the effect of light and dark. Accentuate that tiny little big tongue that's sticking out, and the little upward curve of the mouth, a little smile, and a few just edges, not too heavily drawn, because it's lovely and fluffy puppy hair, so we don't want hard edges. We want to keep the puppy out of focus. And I'm doing a little note to myself here, because as I said, it is my journal page. It is not a work for sale, so I pop down that this is a 30-minute sketch. I chose 2 shades of violet pencil, a slightly beige one, a white one, and a slight grey, and I'm just hinting at a little bit of a sky and a border edge with a little bit of pencil, just to put a little bit of framing around this journal page. I'm doing it very roughly, keeping it in harmony with this being caricature, simplistic, fun. Please give us a thumbs up if this was fun for you to watch. This is my first art journal page of Tessa, and it's of her at 8 weeks. She's now 5 months old, and she's curled up in my arms, being patted with one hand as I operate the editing with my other hand.